I'm going to buy some strawberries, and I'm offering exactly the right amount of money here on the help desk. So you people take that money, £1.90, and I will take my strawberries outside.
You can't take that.
Call the police.
You can't take that. Police is on their way. You can't take that. Police is on their way. You can't take that.
I paid by legal tender.
No. Don't break the door. Do not break the door. No, don't touch.
I paid by legal tender, and I am going out with my strawberries. And I'm going to make them. I'm going to make my strawberries. I paid by legal tender in this dystopian place.
Dystopian has to be the best word to describe the reality that we're currently living in. Being that nowadays, the only way to start the process of getting employed, attempting to start a family, or even outright communicating with society as a whole, all happens through this pocket-sized rectangle put together by very tiny minerals that nobody really knows how to remake. As whoever is in control of all this stuff watches and listens to us while they try to, claim our data, whether that's to sell us stuff or just straight up find out what we're doing in our private lives. Now, if that doesn't sound like Dystopian or like a Black Mirror episode, I'm not really sure what does. Well, in this video that I just showed you, we just watched together, we saw this older gentleman trying to purchase strawberries from his local market that apparently is no longer taking coins. Which kind of leads us to this topic of what really qualifies as legal tender, which then eventually leads us to how they can kind of change these things and control what happens without really our say. Which then leads to freedom and free will and the whole topic surrounding that, which in this it's scary, guys. It's pretty scary, folks. Well, in this video, despite which generation you come from or which tax bracket you find yourself falling into, feel free to leave your thoughts and opinions regarding anything discussed in this video. We're going to discuss how technology kind of is getting disguised as convenience, but is kind of starting to realize how it's changed society in not really a very convenient way. So feel free to leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments, as well as a huge shout out to half of you guys checking out those links down below in the description and just stopping by here every day to show your support. I definitely appreciate that. Now, let's begin this shit show.
Here's how you know technology is controlling you. Johan Hardy once said, "The more you are driven by technology, the more you are driven away from yourself." That's not poetic, it's surgical. Because the most dangerous kind of control is the kind that feels like convenience. What he meant was tech was supposed to serve you, but now it's shaping you. And you can feel it. You open your phone for one thing, 45 minutes disappears. You reach for it before you even open your eyes, and you check it before you check in with yourself. That's not usage, that's dependency. And you want to know how you know? You feel restless in silence. You confuse dopamine with purpose, and you measure your worth in likes, clicks, and unread DMs. There are two kinds of people, those who use tech intentionally and those who are being trained by it. The first one sets boundaries. The second one forgets they even had any. And here's the shift. When you spend more time watching strangers live than living your own life, you've already handed over the wheel. That's how you know. You're not holding the phone anymore. It's holding you.
Now, over the last decade or so, everything being digital is just starting to become more relevant, more nuanced, kind of just the more typical way that things are. Now, that's kind of not just going towards like social media, like society, communication, community. It's also finances, it's money, it's the way the economy is kind of driven. Now, back in like 2009, kind of after the, whole recession, the boom with the whole 2008 stuff, it didn't just affect the Western world, but also kind of affected the whole world altogether. It's kind of started to create all these other types of measures like Bitcoin and all these other meme coins. And now, are these all just kind of propped up things that are maybe going to downfall? Who knows? We could just be living in a bubble, just like the dot-com era felt like it was. But at the end of the day, these things probably will remain to stay around, especially some of the big ones like Bitcoin that a lot of these big government agencies have spent millions, somewhat even billions of dollars to invest in. So they're probably not going to go anywhere. How relevant will they be in the near future? Who knows? But eventually they'll probably end up being very, very, very common, being that over even across the seas, at least here in the West where I'm in, here in the US, it seems like they're starting to use digital IDs. So is it really that odd that now that they're getting rid of the penny, eventually they'll probably get rid of, all cash together? And now people will hopefully, I'm not saying I want to start a riot, some sort of like revolution, but think about the fact that our ancestors literally like died over like a 6% tax. Well, now people in the States sometimes live with over half their paycheck getting taxed, and now we're just not really having any control on anything whatsoever. So what a weird dystopian society, as well as how technology is getting disguised as convenience, but in reality is kind of taking away the convenience of being a human being.
Technology I think it robs our pleasure centers. It hijacks them to higher and higher levels, and I think technology causes us to get to a point where we can't find pleasure in anything except that little device that people are putting their attention on. And we do this at our events. We watch people, they don't even know that they're addicted to that device until they have to sit all day and not think about it. And then when they finally realize how addicted they were to it, when they've overcome it, they have a different reset for themselves. So I respect technology a lot because all of my companies use it in all kinds of wonderful ways. But if you can't set that thing down and break away from it, it owns you on some level, and it's regulating your thoughts and feelings on a very high level. And so the problem that I've had with technology with younger people is that when you blow up a nation, or you punch somebody, or you break through a certain level, or you overcome something, there is an enormous release of dopamine in the brain. The pleasure centers are just dumping dopamine, but that quantity of dopamine is not normal for the brain, so the receptor sites close down, because it's like living with a spouse that always yells at you. You just close down and get desensitized to it.
I think it goes without saying that there is a widespread of convenience in terms of what technology has brought towards mankind. Whether that's just your washer and dryer, your dishwasher, your like refrigerator, which goes a really long way in terms of storing food and for like the longevity, and also all these other things. Whether that's just cars, we've had cell phones, news, the radio, all this stuff. Now bringing this back to digital currency, it's kind of almost as if we've had digital currency for quite a while, because when most jobs I've had ever since I've turned 18, they really recommend you do the direct deposit paychecks. Oh, why would you come in and stop in on your day off, and get a real check and have to go down to the bank and do even, I guess you're on apps now, but either way, go down to the bank and wait in line and talk to the teller that's always in a bad mood, whatever. You can just do it all online. Do it through the app. We'll just get it straight to your bank account. You can just trust the online interwebs, the cloud, as they used to call it, whatever. But it seems as if the trust we put into these organizations, these institutions, we're kind of really just giving everything into the man. We're letting the man deal with everything. And now, at the end of the day, is that kind of the only choice we have? Partially. But is it something we should be concerned about? I also would, debate that as well. I'll wrap up this video discussing how modern day reflects a dystopian society much more than some people like to believe or like to admit. And if you personally feel like you relate to anything discussed in this video, or you have any other thoughts, opinions regarding anything discussed in this video, feel free to leave those down below in the comments. I always love to read through those and respond to them as I see fit. As well as a huge shout out to the handful of you guys checking out these videos daily, and especially I want to show a lot of acknowledgement for the handful of you guys checking out those links down below in the description. Those are always some of the best ways to support me in the content around here. And being that you guys might have known my personal issues lately, it's been happening in my personal life, my private life, it's been kind of hard for me to even accomplish minimal tasks of productivity. So I'm really trying to get myself back in the groove of things. We should be having my mother's funeral here in the next week. Thank God. A huge shout out to all of you guys for helping all this go down. It's never something I ever expected to be such a mess, but luckily we're going to be getting out of this rut, and I don't think I'll ever be the same from this loss, but something I'll have to learn to live with. So I want to appreciate everybody who continues to watch, especially if you're watching at this point of the video. You must genuinely support me. So I want to appreciate you. God bless.